Hello everyone, and welcome to my Royal Family Politics channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Queen Camilla facing hard time despite loyalty to King Charles, says TV star XUSIVD. Queen Camilla got a new royal title when her husband King Charles seized the throne on May 6. But her role has not come without challenges, claims Ryan Mark Parsons. Ryan Mark Parsons, who starred in The Apprentice in 2019, said Camilla's road to becoming queen was a slow but effective transition despite the obstacles against her. The princess was originally considered as the greatest threat to the British monarchy's survival because of her affair with Charles during his marriage to his first wife, Princess Diana, called the People's Princess. Diana famously observed in a BBC interview, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it felt a bit crowded." Ryan Mark has now gone on to compliment Camilla's stiff upper lip in the face of adversity, but feels productions like Netflix series The Crown can affect people's perceptions of the royals. The Crown, of course, it's been dramatized for the viewers' entertainment, and people take the storyline as gospel, and they think they're royal experts, he told Express.co.uk. He went on, "These individuals who watch the TV show assume they know everything about the royals. I think that's a tremendous misconception. You can't watch a series like The Crown and think you know everything about a family. Yes, it's public, it's an institution, but it's also a private family. And also it was a private issue. In terms of the nuances between King Charles, Princess Diana, and Camilla. You can't watch it and think you know everything." Ryan Mark went on to add Camilla has had a hard time throughout the years, but has been committed to Charles. He said, "It's also a challenging time for Camilla. She's been quite faithful to Charles. She is queen consort today, and she's been a working royal for decades. I think that's amazing. Unlike many members of the royal family, they don't just give up and go to Montecito when things become bad. She's actually been around by King Charles's side for 2 decades. I think it's a beautiful thing. She doesn't complain. She doesn't explain. That's the mantra that every working member of the royal family needs to uphold." During the last installment of The Crown, particular focus was paid to Camilla's relationship with then Prince Charles and his wife at the time, Princess Diana. Meanwhile, Ryan Mark has taken on a new role in the Broadway popular show, Tony and Tina's Wedding, with a TV actor starring as the bride's brother, Joey Batal. Speaking about his character, he shared, "Joey, he is a bit of a charlatan, I would say, in terms of his family being American, from Brooklyn, but he speaks with a quintessentially heightened RP, received pronunciation, British accent. So it's enjoyable. It's a bit of a juxtaposition. He's a bit of an anomaly when it comes to the family. He stands out in the way he speaks and acts. He wears a kilt, so he's truly the contrast of the rest of his family." Tony and Tina's Wedding initially had its musical premiere on Broadway over 25 years ago. In the new London show, audience members become guests for the evening and enjoy a sit-down meal whilst accompanying lovebirds Tony and Tina on their tumultuous wedding day. Queen Elizabeth Hugh's handwritten note to astronaut Chris Hadfield following NASA mission. The Canadian astronaut disclosed a note he received from the late Queen, and even spoke of a memorable stay at Windsor Castle. The late Queen Elizabeth II gave a handwritten note to astronaut Chris Hadfield. It has been revealed. The King, who died at the age of 96 in September 2022, would regularly write personal greetings to persons from Britain and the Commonwealth who had performed exceptional achievements. In the 90s, Chris Hadfield catapulted to prominence and into space when he became the first Canadian to perform extravehicular activity in outer space. In his remarkable career, he has also embarked on 2 space shuttle missions and has served as commander of the International Space Station, after succeeding in NASA's intensive space program. As a Commonwealth citizen, he received a special greeting from Her late Majesty, who took a strong interest in his experiences. The astronaut opened the veil on his friendship with the Queen and King Charles II during an exclusive discussion with Daily Express US. Hadfield, who is slated to tour the UK and Ireland in June to discuss his adventures as an astronaut, said, "I was lucky enough, when I was in orbit on my third space journey, to have received a note from the Queen, because I was the first member of the Commonwealth to ever command a spaceship." The legendary astronaut even stated he had a sleepover at Windsor Castle, where he was able to meet the Queen's husband, Prince Philip, and her much-loved corgis. Speaking about his time at Windsor, he recounted, "She was gracious enough to send me a congratulatory note, and then my wife and I had a sleepover at Windsor Castle. And it was great getting to meet the dogs, the corgis, and getting to know both Prince Philip and the Queen a little bit. It was a big privilege." In more recent decades, it is the new generation of royals that Hadfield has been getting acquainted with. In February, he met with King Charles II to discuss space sustainability, with the royal family Twitter account remarking additional efforts to encourage such schemes were needed as space research proceeds. Reflecting on his encounter with the king, Hadfield told his followers on Twitter of the pleasure and privilege to be asked to advise and assist, and make the king laugh. Hadfield, who spoke to Daily Express US from his home in Milton, Ontario, has enjoyed a number of interactions with Britain's royals, particularly the late Queen. Prior to his retirement from space travel in 2013, Hadfield was in command of the International Space Station, becoming the first person from the Commonwealth to do so. The Queen noted his tremendous achievement and issued a special greeting to the then 54-year-old, sending her personal best wishes, and those of all Canadians, as he takes command. She added, "Our thoughts and best wishes are with him and the entire crew, as are our prayers for an eventual safe return to family, friends, and fellow Canadians." Hadfield was astonished and pleased when he received the message, telling his followers, "If anything can make one's jaw drop in weightlessness, it is to be acknowledged by the Queen herself. I am amazed and humbled." Heavily pregnant sailor receives honor from King Charles for role in Queen's funeral. King Charles has honored a sailor who is 7 months pregnant, after the major part she played in Queen Elizabeth's burial. A very pregnant sailor has earned an award from King Charles, with the monarch startled to see the woman participating in a procession today at Windsor Castle while 7 seamen fainted due to the heat. Despite not having a uniform suitable for pregnant women, medical assistant Paisley Chambers-Smith proudly stood in the front row among 150 Royal Naval soldiers. They were all recognized with Royal Victorian Order honors by the monarch for their involvement in Queen Elizabeth II's funeral processions last September. Miss Chambers-Smith, who was among the 98 ratings responsible for drawing the state gun carriage bearing the Queen's coffin, had to wear civilian clothes at the castle due to the Navy's shortage of ceremonial attire designated for pregnant women. During the medal-giving ceremony in the castle quadrangle, which lasted an hour under the strong sunshine, 7 sailors fainted and had to be carried away. However, she lasted long enough to collect her accolade from the king and was later granted special permission to rest. She said, "I just managed to do the first rank, and then I had to go and sit down." At the age of 25, Miss Chambers-Smith, originally from Chesterfield, got the opportunity to meet the Queen. She is currently serving as part of a naval medical team that collaborates with NHS civilians at Queen Alexandra Hospital in Portsmouth. She added, "That's the first member of royalty I've ever met, so it was amazing. I'll never forget that." He was asking how the training was for the funeral, which was really hard. It was challenging. The new boots harm your feet. The king was aware of the unique sight of a very pregnant woman participating in the march. He asked when the baby was due and how it is standing in the heat. She adding that the baby is due at the end of July, and she expects to start maternity leave in June. The medical assistant, accompanied by her partner, Royal Marine Surgeon Stephen Leonard, age 34, remarked on her own sense of pride in being part of such a historic event. It was incredible for her to be involved in such a monumental occasion 3 years after entering the Navy. It's not something I imagined doing so soon in my career. It was a great honor to be there, she said. Just knowing you were part of history forever. Alongside the other decorated sailors and officers visiting the castle, she was conferred with the Royal Victorian Order by the King in March. This honor was part of the demise honors list, normally presented after the dying of a monarch. Express.co.uk has contacted the Ministry of Defense for comment. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.